Hey everybody, welcome back to Elemental Cartomancy. This is going to be a walkthrough of the Fifth Spirit Tarot. Okay guys, so the Fifth Spirit Tarot by Charlie Claire Burgess. It's a beautiful tarot deck, let me just say. I've been through it and I've used it a couple of times. Um, Comes in this nice sturdy two-part box. So Fifth Spirit Tarot by Charlie Claire Burgess. Um, so a queer and inclusive deck for a world beyond binaries. This is the first edition, and you can see we've got some of the cards depicted on the back there. It is a fully illustrated deck. Um, this was a really kind gift from my friend Simon at the Hermit's Cave for my birthday. So thanks again, Simon, for this. Um, let's have a look at what we get with it. So in terms of the book, it is very much a little white book. It does have some good information in here, don't get me wrong. But in terms of the kind of what it's telling us about the cards, it is quite minimal. I suppose you're getting a wee bit more with the majors. But you're getting some good kind of a spread information, some good information on how to read, some good introduction, um, you know, and there's a bit here about so tarot for a world beyond binaries. So it says here, tarot, in fact, let's zoom in a bit rather than me holding that away up high. So tarot is a 600-year-old invention created as a playing card game in Italy around 1420. As you might imagine, things were pretty gendered back then. As tarot evolved into a divination tool between then and the late 1700s, things were still pretty much gendered. As it flourished and grew in magical communities between then and 1909, when the landmark Smith-Waite, then called Rider-Waite deck, was born, things were still pretty gendered. In short, the tarot has been mired in binary and biological notions of gender since its inception. Whilst transgender and genderqueer people have existed for literally as long as humans have, we're only now beginning to be included in this system that we've used for so long. So deck creators, writers and tarot practitioners are pioneering this work in beautiful and necessary ways every day. Many creators have renamed the tarot's gendered cards in an effort to free them from the gender roles and make them more accessible to transgender and genderqueer folks. This work is important and transformational, and I'm indebted to their brave, visionary contributions. In part because I couldn't improve on their genius, I decided to approach gender and the tarot from a different angle. In this deck, the major arcana and the court cards all bear their traditional titles of Queen and King, Empress, Emperor, and so on. Instead of renaming the cards, Fifth Spirit seeks to challenge the gender binary and expand notions of gender through the juxtaposition of traditional title and queered imagery. The Empress can have long, flowing hair and a flat, hairy chest. The Emperor can have a beard and breasts at the same time. A non-binary femme can be king, a cisgender man can be queen, and everyone in between can defy or expand or ecstatically embody any or no gender that they wish. I believe that everyone should be able to pick up a tarot deck and see themselves reflected in it, and that doesn't stop at queer or genderqueer folks. As such, I've tried to represent humans of diverse genders, races, body shapes, ages, and abilities in Fifth Spirit Tarot. As a white, queer, non-binary, able-bodied person, I've endeavoured to do this without appropriating or tokenizing. Many decks preceded Fifth Spirit Tarot and these aims, and I hope that Fifth Spirit will be only one such deck in a massive tidal wave of queer and inclusive decks continuing forever into the future. So I wanted to read that wee bit because I think it's quite nice and it quite nicely outlines what Charlie is doing with, or what they are doing with this deck. I do need to pause for a minute to put the deck back in order. Okay, so these are the card backs. We have the Lameness kit, and all of this kind of a energy pouring out from it or into it. The cards are this beautiful linen cardstock that makes it really kind of a glidey, and it shuffles really well. In terms of size, it's a hair bigger than your standard Smith weight, if you can see that. So taller and broader, but just by a wee bit, by about a millimetre or something. So we start off with our fool. Walking off the cliff. So quite standard imagery here for a fool. I do think it's quite cool though how it looks as though they're standing on air. Magician. High Priestess. Empress. So we have the pomegranate shown in the Empress card in this deck. The Emperor. Hierophant. Symbol for air. On their coat, tunic, whatever that is. You really get teacher vibes from this card, which is nice. The Lovers. Chariot card. We have the different coloured roller skates rather than the horses or the sphinxes. Strength. It's really cute. The dog's really nice. The Hermit. Wheel of Fortune. I love the representation of the elements in the four corners. Justice. Hanged One. Death. Really nice death card. Temperance. I love the colour. I love how it extends to the very kind of edges of the card. Not the card, but to the borders in Temperance. And the sky, the way the sky is depicted is beautiful. Devil. The Tower. Star. It's quite cool how the title is like sinking into the river. The moon card just looks so enchanting and magical. Sun. Judgment in the world. Okay, so on to the suits. We have the Wands suit first of all. So our Ace of Wands, two, Three of Wands, six. So we've got the Victory Wreath, and these look to me like sparklers. You know that I don't know if they would still give them to kids, mind you, but they used to give them to kids when I was young. Today actually on Bonfire Night, so I'm filming this on the 5th of November. 7, 8. I love this 9 of Wands. You know, the candles are about to run out, but it's fine because the sun's about to come up. So they've done their job. And 10. Page of Wands. Knight. Queen. And the King. Into the swords. Ace. 2. This reminds me of the Marielle 2 of swords. Don't know why, because it's not a moth or a butterfly that's on it, I don't think. I think it's like a locust. 3 of swords. 4. 5. 6. 7. Magpie. 8. 9. And 10 of swords. It's quite a sad image, isn't it? Page. Knight. Queen. And our King of Swords. Cups. So we have what looks like a mug that you would drink, you know, like a teacup that you would drink tea out of. But then we also have the kind of the com, communion representation, and this looks to me to be like the, you know, the Eucharist. Two of Cups. So the Queen of Cups looks like they might be like a fortune teller or something. Yeah, 'cause they've got the cards on the table, they've got the scrying bowl, the pendula. Quite cool. And the king. And finally we have the suit of earth. Ace, two, three. Donations box for the six of coins. Feast for the 9. And then the home for the 10. So a page of pentacles. Oops. Have our knight. Queen. And our king of pentacles. Okay, so shuffling, this is a really nice deck to shuffle, like I said at the start. The linen finish makes them really easy to kind of work with and maneuver. They can be a wee bit slippery, so sometimes you can get cards flying out of the deck, but you get used to it, and they get easier to control. So with the linen finish, they are really nice and pliable. They riffle shuffle really well, and you can get a nice bridge on them. And did I mention what size they were actually? Did I do a size comparison? Um, I think it did actually. We said that they were just a bit bigger than your standard, but it's like, you know, you can barely notice the difference. So, you know, they overhand really nicely, just like any other deck. Okay, so in terms of you know, a spread to lay out, you know, to let you see the cards in action. I've been looking at the spreads in the book that we get with the deck, and I like the look of this 4-card spread. So this is a 4-card spread for general guidance. So the first card will tell us about the overall situation that's coming up that's to be addressed. The second card is a challenge, so it's an obstacle or a block. It's something to rise up to. The third card is a blessing. It's a good or helpful thing, often arising from the challenge. And then the fourth card is the advice. It's how to navigate the situation. So So I thought we could do that. I don't really have any particular situation that I'm thinking of in mind. I just thought we'll do it kind of a general, see what comes up, and yeah, we'll see if it resonates. So first card, general situation. So we've got the magician coming up. So the magician is a very kind of active energy. Really all don't need to be that zoomed out, do we? All about using the skills that you've got, and learning how to use the skills that you've got. When the fool comes up, and if we think of it in terms of the fool's journey, when the fool comes up against the magician, it's the magician that takes the four implements off of the fool and shows them the potential that they have. Okay, so before it, the fool's pretty much empty-minded, doesn't have any kind of a prejudice or preconceptions. He doesn't really have any idea about what's going on, or what the significance is of the wand, the pentacle, of the sword, and of the cup. But the magician kind of takes them from the fool and he shows them the potential that, that the fool has. Um, so the situation perhaps that we have coming up is being inspired. It's being inspired to use the abilities that we've got, the skills that we've either inherited or that we've been born with. It's been inspired to use them in new and innovative ways. Um, so we said the next card is a challenge or an obstacle or a block. And we've got the Ace of Swords coming out there. The Ace of Swords. So it's interesting that they're both ones. We've got the one as the Magician and the Ace of the Sword suit, of the Air suit. So the challenge is perhaps having to think about things in different ways. Okay. Um, Having to kind of take yourself back to zero and really kind of adopt that beginner mindset and be open to learning new things. You know, cast aside what you think you know. Sometimes our ego gets in the way, it stops us from learning. So a challenge is really kind of being able to kind of put that to one side and approach this new opportunity with a fresh, open mind. A blessing that we've got is the Four of Swords. Okay, so perhaps this opportunity is going to let us take a step back from another situation that's perhaps quite difficult for us. It's going to let us take some time away from the hustle and the bustle of everyday life and just really kind of withdraw a wee bit, take some much needed chill time, in order to kind of just gain that stability, up in our heads, that balance. And then the final card, was the advice. We'll look at the Ace of Pentacles. So to me, this is look out for opportunities that come up. I mean, we've got three one cards here. So obviously there's lots of kind of a new energy, new potential, new beginnings around about us. The Ace of Pentacles is kind of like, right, well, you need to be looking out for these opportunities. They're not going to come up and smack you in the face. You have to pay attention, otherwise you might miss it. And also, just because you're getting this, I mean, what is a seed? That doesn't mean that that's you. You're rich forever. You don't have to work again. You don't need to work at it. Quite the opposite. It's an ace. It's the one. It's the very beginning. If you want to make something of this, then you need to work at it and work hard at it in order to build that all the way from ace to 10, to the final culmination. So there we go. That was the fifth Spirit Tarot by Charlie Claire Burgess. I hope that you've enjoyed this. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, everyone, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Bye bye.